so hard for Giants to do anything on the map with the comps they're running. Back in pick and bans though, once again, as we have highlighted, Giants will be on blue side because ROCCAT in game 1, 3, and 5 decided to take red side. So they could ban Jax Morgana. Once again, Giants haven't really shown anything that will make a change, but I'm happy about this ban from Giants. I think Shen is one of the biggest problems because every single time you try and 1v1 in a side lane, it is never a 1v1 because Vander on Shen joins in. This should have been banned in the last game, but I'm happy to see it now from Giants.
Yeah, and last time they banned out the Kalista, the Lulu, the Elise. Already changing up with the Shen right here. We see the Jax ban now coming out as well. And this will be the 22nd time now.
Give me a Lulu ban from Giants and then give me Kalista ban in the end. Give Elise over to Jankos. I know it's tough to deal with it in the early game, but still with the way ROCCAT likes to play early game, it doesn't necessarily mean Jankos is going to do a whole lot on an Elise, and you've got to take the chance. Unless you want to first pick Kalista for Adri. Something we haven't seen work for Giants other than one game, all split long.
Yeah, he's played it 3 times, and as you mentioned, yeah, 1 win. So they could do that, but again, they're thinking hard about it. Only 7 seconds left. It will be Elise or Kalista here most likely, and then ROCCAT get the pick of the litter. It's going to be the case of leaving Kalista and Elise up.
I mean, everything screams first pick Kalista from Giants with these bans coming in. ROCCAT banned Trundle in the last game because they were a little bit afraid maybe the Giants would run the Shen first pick and then Trundle later and have a very strong split push that way. You can still ban the Trundle now that Shen is gone, so it becomes a little bit more difficult to deal with him. But you also got to look at potentially Elise. Do you want to get rid of it? Seeing as the fact that Giants could first pick it, but I'm more expecting a Kalista, even though it would still surprise me because it is Adri who's going to play it for Giants.
So ROCCAT predict that Giants will once again swap up and go for a poke composition. They ban away the Varus, so they take away one of the big proponents of that from Pepinero. Those triple flex bans coming in from Giants means they can read ROCCAT a lot more easily in this Champion Select. What are we going to see? Is it going to be first pick Kalista?
But it's a good point you just made right there with their flex picks being banned away, because that has been what ROCCAT did so well on purple side. Get a lot of early flex picks, very difficult for Giants to know exactly who was going where. We saw the Gangplank come in against the Olaf as a last pick in game 2. But yeah, I mean, again, Kalista first pick is what you normally see in this case, but Elise as well is open. Funny enough, they banned Elise twice instead of wanting as a potential first pick themselves because they wanted to get it banned away from Jankos and then first pick like Lulu first game, then Sivir the next game, even though they didn't have to. ROCCAT though getting power picks everywhere. They do show the lanes though very early.
They do, yeah. Both of the solo laners have been revealed and we know they're going to go there. Gangplank and Azir so far. What's it going to be from Giants?
So, about this Gangplank early pick, the reason ROCCAT can go for it is Fizz is being banned away, who is an okay matchup into him, and then Riven would be the other pick, but we haven't seen where they've played. I was randomly though spectating him in solo queue where he did play Riven.
Okay.
So if he's confident enough, he can take that matchup and punish ROCCAT for early showing the Gangplank. Obviously not in this rotation, he can wait for the next one. And it would still fit into the style we like to see from Giants, where he can be on a massive split pushing threat.
Yeah. Well, I like myself some Riven, but we are going to see, first off, the Alistar and the Ezreal. Could be a bizarre flex, but most likely going to be going on to Adri. We did see Power of Evil, of course, pick up the Ezreal.
This is one of the most safe bot lanes you can run. Nothing is going to happen in that lane if you are Giants. You're going to farm and heal and sit back. So they're definitely expecting Rallis to go for Kalista here. And they're going to say, okay, we know we're going to lose that lane, so we're just going to farm it out. We're not going to risk anything if you lock in Kalista, now that we leave it open. But the thing is, yes, it might be a strong pick for ROCCAT and Rallis, but they don't necessarily have to pick it no matter what. Because you can still look at what is it your team composition need. We saw the Sivir Azir in the last game, how it gives them a lot of flexibility. You can both disengage with the Sivir ulti and Azir. You can also play very aggressive. Set up that Azir all in where he can knock someone back with his own ulti due to that movement speed. So ROCCAT basically saying, we see what you're doing. We know you want a defensive lane, but we're not just going to go for the Kalista. We build more for the team here.
Build for the team and build for the disengage. We picked up the Gragas here. I'll be going on to Jankos most likely. The Sivir as well. Just speed everyone up. Get everyone for the engage, the disengage. It's all good.
Is Pepinero going to Xerath?
He was thinking about it.
Because
over it. He has played it before.
You got their
Once.
Ezreal already. No, don't give me AP Ezreal. I don't want to see it. But you have Ezreal already, which we would expect to go to Adri, unless you want to go Kalista. Xerath, add that in. Good matchup into the Azir. You have the Elise as well, who works really well in poke comps. So you would have a poke composition that could start grouping fairly early on, like just one item with the Azir Elise, especially. Seems like it's going to be Ezreal mid, though. And if he's not taking Smite, is it going to be what we have seen before from Pepinero, the AD Ezreal?
Yeah.
Trinity Force, Iceborne Gauntlet. Not Trinity, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Trinity Force. Their tier, Manamune
build
into Iceborne Gauntlet. Not sure why I thought that was a Trinity Force.
Basically the same thing. But we did have the Maokai picked up. That's a Steve special. We'll be going up to Whirlip this time. So seeing him on a tank rather than a straight-up split pusher or a duelist. Of course, the ancestors were talking earlier about Mara and his big, Maokai carry. Haven't really seen anyone else in the world do that. So Whirlip going to be on a tank.
A lot of physical damage from Giants, and it's a tank into a Gangplank. ROCCAT still has the last pick to say, okay, you guys are building obviously a double 80 carry setup, so we need something to reach that back line. Gangplank barrels, you have Azir buffed up by the Sivir. There are ways here for ROCCAT. With Annie Flash now, great pickup here. Really gives them a lot of options when it comes to reaching these 280 carries. Giants as well, if it is 80 Ezreal, which we are expecting now, seeing as he has played it before. Very physical damage focused. Elise tends to build Jogger, Cinderhulk. It's going really great now. Jogger more. Elise builds Jogger more. She builds Cinderhulk, obviously very often in the jungle. So while the AP damage is fine in the early game, late game you don't really care too much about it. Same for the Maokai damage. So a lot of armor stacking can happen on the side of ROCCAT with this Gragas at least. Obviously Gangplank likes to build full damage, so he's not going to be that effective at shutting down. But double 80 carry against the amount of damage on the side of ROCCAT, and now engaged with both Gragas, Sivir, and Annie. I have to say that I really feel like ROCCAT has been winning out in this pick and ban phase again. Honestly, they have so many ways of dealing with double 80 carry here.
Yeah, well, you just saw the coaches. Could be the last time for today that we see them shake hands. But as you mentioned, yeah, ROCCAT have a lot of tools to deal with what Giants have in this game. Got a lot of engage, got the Annie, but remember, keep us updated at LoL Esports. Tweet #GIAWin or ROCWin. And will ROCCAT secure this week? Could be the 3-0 up against Giants. Another series, another best of 5 where they get swept. Would not be what the Giants want. Can they take one game? Again, they come in with the adaptations. Again, they come in with something different with this poke composition. Will it work? We're about to find out as we head into this potential last game. It is game 3 between Giants and ROCCAT.
Just to update everyone, it is the AD Ezreal for Pepinero in the mid lane. Nukeduck as well running with teleport because Ezreal in the laning phase is not very strong. So you don't necessarily need a defensive summoner. And because what Giants have been building around so often has been split pushing, but not this case. This is a team fighting composition for Giants. ROCCAT on the other hand, doing exactly the same, just have the option because you have a Gangplank to split push. I'm a bit surprised though about the TP on Nukeduck.
Jankos has found Pepinero. Pepinero may need to flash here, or he may just die for first blood going over to Steve. Picked up that Duran's Blade, and he'll be going back for probably another item before this is all done. And now the invade comes in from ROCCAT to get that vision.
Love me some W early on Annie. Instant stun. Vander going for it, Pepinero not reacting in time. Second game though we see at level 1 where someone dies fairly foolishly, honestly. Giants might look for a little bit more.
Yeah, this could be a little dangerous. Vander did use his stun right there, and he landed on Whirlip, and Frederick and Whirlip are chasing him out of this jungle. Barrel comes down. That'll be the zoning barrel, and also gets taken out. 10 gold in the bank.
So ROCCAT gets all the vision here early on. Giants, instead of trying to trade or mirror what ROCCAT is doing, wanted to take the fight, so they only got 1 ward here on the Grump. We'll give them some information on where the bottom lane is starting for ROCCAT, or where the jungle is starting. But obviously not the same amount here. ROCCAT is basically trying to cover every single way, every single entrance toward that top side. And seeing as Whirlip didn't leave the lane yet, ROCCAT also saw that, and they're now invading in to stop this Grump from going down.
Well, they did it last time, but it was against their counterparts. This time Frederick will smite us away. Rales puts down the boomerang and is able to put them a little low. Godfred rowing up here. The flash and the pulverize does find Rales, but they don't have a whole lot more CC. Oh, there's the cocoon coming out. Rales is dropping low. He's already used the flash, but he does have the heal. There it is. Whirlup and Godfred still chasing after. The sapling slows him down. Whirlup comes into flash auto, gets the second auto and finishes him off. Vanda also pulverized up. Frederick comes in here, already landed a venomous bite, and will be backing away. Another nice return kill coming in from Giants.
So ROCCAT invading in to see who was starting the Grump here. Seeing as they hadn't seen Kalista, they must have expected it to be Whirlup and Frederick. Only got a little bit of damage down, didn't really manage to do a whole lot, and then Godfred moving up. Love to see Riders just instant flash away. Don't take the chance, don't risk that flash pulverize coming in from Godfred. In the end though, 1-for-1 in kills. We're back to having a lot of different action in the early stages, even before minions spawned. 2 guys went down. Oh well, minions were in place in lane, they had to
Yeah. But still, 2 kills at 3 minutes. Very different from game 1, looking more towards the second game. Still not quite the kind of just run at you and we'll have a lot of action. But yeah,
no flash
looking for another gank in this top lane. Has this red buff. Steve coming in as well for this gank. The stun goes down onto Godfred. He's low. He's already used the flash before, remember, for that flash, pulverize and the knock-up. And Rales will come in with that kill. He puts the cow down and gets some revenge.
So I like the adaptation for ROCCAT in saying, you guys have a wave that's going to push towards us because you already killed so many of the minions that we're gonna either set up a freeze or you have to overextend to shove it out so we can go get the kill. Because what it also means is once you see Godfred on the top side, you know bot lane is just a one-on-one, and Steve had TP ready so you can catch the wave while the Maokai got shut down from the gank. So Steve now getting quite an advantage in terms of CS at least, even though experience is the key one, and that's also what he's getting. Because Whirlup right now is being zoned off minions despite having a lease, and he has to wait for him to come down. He's going to pick them up now. He's going to get this entire wave, so at least he will get some farm too. But ROCCAT basically saying, you have to overextend without any flashes. Going to go early gank you and then TP bottom lane with Steve.
Frederick is waiting in the wings here, in the brushes in the top lane. But here's recalling. Rales is playing this safe, or not anymore. He's level 2. Doesn't have any summoners, remember. And Vander did get hit by that sapling.
Send in Vander.
Oh, he's going to go in. And does get cocooned. There's the follow-up of the spider form. Do they have enough damage, though? Whirlup now coming in. The sapling will land onto Rales. Whirlup does have his twisted advance, but only just gets level 3 there. And Frederick was dropping low, so he will just back off.
So in the end, Frederick doesn't get anything. No summoners being blown. We're already down. So a lot of things been happening early on. A lot of flashes being blown. Adri's been down his bottom lane on his own, shoving it in. Couldn't get a freeze because... not really sure what he was doing at level 1 if he were in a situation where he could have frozen the wave, which is always... if you want to go defend top side and you can get an easy freeze at level 1 as an AD carry in a lane swap, do it. Because it's just so much more effective at denying farm. You saw how much Steve got in that lane once he TP'd down. So despite him having to invest into a gank top, he still got 2 or 3 waves when he TP'd down bottom lane.
Godfred now, sitting in the top lane, taking turns, and who can gank this duo lane? And now Jankos moving into this jungle. Doesn't have any vision over Frederick right now. He's gone for his red buff. Mid lane, we haven't spoken too much about. There's not a whole lot has happened. It is Pepinera versus Nuke Duck. Has gone for that tier start, as you mentioned. Whirlup in the top lane, though. Twisted Advance goes onto Vander, and Jankos will find him with the body slam, keeping that barrel there. So Whirlup has to take the scenic route to get to safety, and going to the bush was not safety.
Just another gank from ROCCAT. There's 0 wards being placed despite 2 trinkets being ready on the side of Giants. You have your support there as well. Someone needs to go out and invest into early vision. I wonder if Godfred went back and just only got boots. Let's see what happened here. Now ulti's up. Vander. Oh, whoa, whoa. But early boots from Godfred. So wanted more so he could roam, but meant he couldn't afford any wards when he went back. And you still have a no-flash Maokai in a lane where he had to once again overextend for it, really making it difficult to defend him. Steve obviously not really going to do a whole lot in the one-on-one, but has been getting all the experience down here, level 5 for himself.
Yeah, he's fine. He's ahead of Whirlup in terms of that, at least. And he does have that kill, of course. Basically equal farm. Rales so far has not been farming as well as Adri, since there's been a lot of people up there trying to stop him from doing just that. Adri, meanwhile, has just been in the bottom lane, basically uncontested CS up against Steve. And Rales and Vander will find themselves in the bottom lane once again.
So I just went back and looked on my own screen here. Godfred did go back and just went for boots. 0 wards. Now he's doing exactly the same again. He's got Moby boots, so he really wants to have an impact on the map, but he provides 0 vision for his team. And due to the fact that they use so many summoners, see what happens here. Vanda's no summoner, but Jankos is here.
This is not going to work out well for the Giants. Godfred uses the minion taxi to try and get to safety. The flash into the ultimate from Nukeduck. Again, takes it out. Godfred, he's only level 3, man. Level 7 is here.
Yeah, now this is super under-level support who's gone full focus on mobility. Even though, as I mentioned before, so many summoners were blown. Now we might see another one.
Oh, good cocoon in from Frederick. Did CC up Jankos. Those stacks are steadily building from Adri for this rend. Jankos needs to get out of here. Oh, body slam over the wall. Frederick looking for the execute. Gets him down with a venomous bite. Sinks those fangs in and picks up a kill. 1-0 over to Giants after all of that.
So this time a good reaction from Giants. Had TP ready. ROCCAT opted to go for the dive. Very aggressive and honestly greedy play right here. Even though Steve could TP as well, still it opens up mid lane because Pepinard never moved. It was Nukeduck who TP'd down bottom lane, joined in on that gang, turned it around. ROCCAT should have said, that's fine, we get a kill. Go back to our lanes because now Giants are getting so much damage on this mid tower.
Yeah, Nukeduck should get here before they are able to take the turret, but still, it's a lot of damage ROCCAT didn't need on that middle turret going down. He's building towards Nash's Tooth once again. Meanwhile, Pepinero has had that tier for a while, so he's busy farming that up, as you mentioned, for the Muramana, Last Whisper, all of that good stuff. Godfred came in for the headbutt. Will be flashed away by Ralez this time.
Good flash from Ralez. Had his spells shielded, one of the spells would have hit him. Anyway, Vander now needs to stun him up because Willip is going aggressive.
Coming in for the re-engage, pop the ultimate already. Steve now coming into this fight, should be enough to disengage at least. There's the chain of barrels, does not connect with the retreating tree. Frederick is still there. The stun was not charged up with the Pyromania from Vander. Willip will use his W to get to this Grump, try and back away. Godfred, he's still level 3, but he still has headbutt. He's going to knock him towards the Grump. And Willip has been CC'd up underneath this turret, taking the wrong escape route. Godfred, actually, for trying to assist his top lane, is probably going to fall here as well. Steve is the one to parlay him to death. And again, he goes down, a 2-0. Vanden caught out by Frederick, maybe picked up. Has popped the Molten Shield. Ralez now coming into this fight. May pick him up. Repel comes up, comes in, gets the execute, takes him down with Q, but trades 1-for-1 and 3-for-1 overall in favor of ROCCAT.
Can someone please respect the fact that teleports are in the game? We keep seeing both teams looking for dives where the enemy top laner can TP down and stop it and turn it around. First, ROCCAT did it, caused them a lot of damage in mid lane and a kill. Now Yank is going for Adri into the tower.
Great barrel, also cleared out all of those minions, so immediately aggroed Adri. Jankos with the outplay.
Just too easy though.
Yeah.
Clear out the minions, use the smite I believe in the end as well, and then just knock him into the tower when there's no minions left. You know it's gonna switch over to the AD carry. Adri not reading the situation, but really, then Giants down bottom lane saying, okay, now we're gonna go for a dive. After they forced a flash from Ralez, they could just take it and hit the tower, get a lot of damage on it. They wanted more. And that means Steve can now TP down, suddenly turn it around on the side of ROCCAT, more kills for them. Really some unnecessary dives from both teams. Just getting damage on the towers is more than enough. You don't have to always go for the kills.
Feels like both teams are slipping a little in this one, in this third game. I mean, the other two games weren't maybe the cleanest, but still, they were thinking a little more about the decisions. So far, it's just been constant action, constant, let's go for this fight. It seems good. Let's not think about any of the summoners they may have, and let's go for it. And time again,
and
teleports come in.
It is impossible to make it a low-risk situation when you go for the dives, because again, as you said, you don't think about the summoners at the same time. Something we highlighted earlier, Godfrey going for very early Moby boots and 0 wards on 2 or 3 backs in a row. So there was no vision really to spot where is ROCCAT sending their members. And in order to set up a low-risk tower dive, you need deep vision so you can see, okay, where's the enemy jungler coming, or who's moving down towards this top side, or this tower here. And you need to have, of course, the summoners under control. And Adri now going down.
Oh, flash into the tip is Adri kiting away, but it's just a question of who the kill's going to go to at this point. It will go to Ralez. And Godfred does want to make haste and get out of here. He's only now level 4. There's the Ezreal ultimate, clearing out no minions. And bottom turret will go down to ROCCAT. And we'll carry on the push, actually. Frederick is in the bottom side of the map, but there's no AD carry, no real wave clear out from Frederick or Godfred. Vander wants him. He wants the stun. He gets the stun. Jankos does not have his ultimate, though. And now they will make the way out. Maybe looking for Dragon.
And when ROCCAT has made a mistake in this series, they maybe have given up a tower, maybe a kill. Before they gave up 1 kill and a lot of damage on mid tower, but never the same amount that Giants gives up whenever they make the mistakes. When they overcommit, it's like 2 or 3 guys dying, it's a tower going down, it's a dragon going down, because ROCCAT always sets themselves up a lot better for these fights here before they even start. And also it seems like Giants really overcommit. Godfrey going down beforehand when he tried to help them out, instead of saying, okay, well, if you're done, you're done, so just die. Instead, he walked in, tried to help him, ends up dying as well.
Yeah.
And really, for Giants, they just, again, just a step behind very often.
Steve, in this top lane, has just been gradually accumulating kills with his TPs, has been farming away, having a pretty happy game, honestly, playing against a champion who's played oh so often in this split. And that means he can just get all of this farm, basically. Has picked up the Phage this time around. Last time picked up the Sheen first. Looking for the extra damage this time. Just trying to get slowly towards that Trinity Force. Frederick and Whirlup, seeing he's recalled, will go into this jungle. Maybe try and get some vision. And Yakos is in the top sides of the map. Just use his smite.
Not a real vision to get, because all you have is a trinket ward on the side of Maokai. Now Nuke is going to join together with Jankos. Another fight.
Oh, Whirlup CC'd. Oh, Vander's here as well for the party. There's the ultimate coming in from Azir. Takes him out. Vander's the one to pick up that kill. The body slam into the flash should be securing the second. Godfred comes in with a combo, but honestly, what's it going to do here? Not a whole lot. The jungle and the support were looking to follow after. 2-0 going over to them. And as you mentioned, what were Giants doing there? What could they achieve by going into that jungle?
I think maybe they're trying to sneak down behind Nuke and see if they can set up a kill. But your mid laner is an Ezreal who can't really assist you on it.
Right.
That's why we saw Godfred move in as well near the mid lane. But again, you have zero vision in the enemy jungle, so whenever you go for these aggressive plays, you have no clue who's showing up. You have no clue how many members are there. Vanda has a fantastic time again, roaming around. Now another fight in top lane. TP coming in from Nuke. He has Jankos as well. Whirlup, my friend.
Oh, he's going to flash away, and Nuke going to say, okay, he's here. He's going to pick up the kill.
Now, this obviously had nothing to do with Vander, but almost every other kill we have seen in this series, Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Vander's been part of it. His roams have been very, very good, and he's really been setting up a lot of things for ROCCAT when it comes to terms of vision, when it comes to terms of joining the fights obviously in time. His anti-play has been spot on. So far, he's been my MVP.
Yeah, he's been honestly super strong through the series. I remember saying at around this time, last game, that Vander was 0-0-8, and he's basically the same here, 1-1-8 right now. You can see the fan vote has changed a little since Game 1, 80% before to Giants, now only 48%.
And we're looking now at what is it Giants are trying to accomplish with their composition here. Typically, when you run AD Israel, you want something like a Corki with it. You get a bit of mixed AP damage, and you get a very strong spike in the mid-game, especially around 20-minute mark, where you have Trinity Force and Magic Penetration on Corki. You have, obviously, the stacked up tier, or close to stacked up tier in the Israel, and then add in a Sheen at least. So you have very strong spike on both these AD carries. You have a Kalista here, though. You don't want to siege with a Kalista at all. Like, Kalista is not a sieging champion. She wants to teamfight this. She wants to skirmish a lot more. That doesn't really fit in with the Ezreal pick at all from what Giants want to play. They obviously want to get into team fights, but it becomes a lot more tricky because Pipino needs a lot more time then. If it's not about the poke, if it's about an all-in team fight to match the damage of an Azir, it's never going to happen for him. So you're going to have these fights where Giants might look to try and kite quite a lot with this Ezreal here. And like Kelly's always jumping back, but then suddenly Whirlup going to the front line with their Alistar is going to be with their Maokai, it's going to be very easy for ROCCAT to zone him out. And this kiting should never happen against the flash tippers, against a flash body slam, ulti from Gangplank to slow them down. There's a lot of ways for ROCCAT to get onto Giants. This comp here really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's just super difficult for Giants to play it out.
I mean, I was going to say, it's difficult enough with this composition versus what ROCCAT are running, but they're also 8,000 gold behind. So trying to make that happen, if you get hit by 1 CC, okay, maybe we can back off, but that CC is going to hit, and that member's probably going to die from Giants before they get out of the CC. So it's going to be a challenge for them, and that was just another tower going over to ROCCAT. So again, just constantly getting objectives, constantly building up these advantages.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back again to how risky and difficult it is to play this comp. You have 0 proper wave clear.
Right.
Ezreal is not going to wave clear anything other than when his ult is ready, and he's AD, so he's not going to one-shot the wave. Kalista needs a Hurricane before she can fast push waves, but it's not reliable wave clear. You're against Azir, Gangplank, and Sivir. 3 champions who can instant shove waves, who can zone you off towers very, very effectively. You got attack speed, Nash's Tooth, you got attack speed from Sivir when you pop the W. ROCCAT can so easily take down towers in just a matter of a few seconds. And there's nothing to respond from Giants other than a hard engage. And in order for that hard engage to happen, it's obviously Whirly being there, potentially getting home guard on this Maokai, but when he engages in, the 280 carries don't want to follow. They want to stay in the back line, because if they get too close, everything on the side of ROCCAT is basically going to one-shot them. So you have this weird combo where Maokai goes in to stop the push, and the 80 carries step backwards to avoid getting one-shotted, and then suddenly you just zone out the Maokai, worst case, and just kill him.
Well, Willip has identified that he needs to be the engager, he needs to get in, but he doesn't have those boots yet, so he can't upgrade to the home guards and get those home guard teleport plays happening. He has gone for the first item, Righteous Glory. Remember that did take a hit in terms of numbers. We typically see top lanes who run that go for like a defensive item first, like a component of like a Frozen Heart or a Spectre's Cowl, something like that, but has gone for that immediately, so he's able to get that extra movement speed, try and go for these engages, but so far we haven't really seen Giants group up and go for an engage. It's always been them getting caught out, someone dying, going into a fight that's already basically lost. It
was too early for them anyway to group up. I mean, they needed more time on the Ezreal in the mid lane really to start
it's only 80
scaling
minutes.
up. So, like, when you have Kalista, you obviously bank on the fact that you can win the early game as well, at least your lane, with how strong Kalista can be, and then you have this very, very good skirmish with the Blade of the Rune King, where you can duel most 80 carries. But that was never a thing, because Giants fell so far behind, where White's like, once again making some very aggressive calls that got spotted by ROCCAT. They got a few kills from it, and then suddenly we even see Jankos solo out the Kalista up in top lane. And like, we never got to see that dual power. Now suddenly, we have 280 carries sitting in mid together trying to share farm, which means nobody's really happy. Because nobody wants to share as an 80 carry. You want to get solo farm, and now ROCCAT's just going to engage.
Yeah, Rally's is going to click R, and the rest of the team is going to follow. Flashes over the wall, looking for Peppy, gets him, and takes him down. Nukeduck looking for the follow-up as well onto Frederick. And that forces yet another flash. Giants just losing summoners, losing ground. And now the middle turret is going to be pushed in. There's 1 minion. He is going to die.
Another wave of minions on the way, ready to get killed by this tower. To allow ROCCAT to push it. But you mentioned it, the Zir, the Sivir, how quick it is for them to smack it down. I mean, even Gragas can add in some bonus damage from the tower.
Yeah, a rise from Nukeduck even, just a lot of damage. It's honestly insane. That tower died so quickly. Steve in the bottom lane wasn't even there. Remember, he has his passive, which also applies on turrets, 50%, but still it's true damage. Pepinero coming back out of base, and you know, we have that question, is Pepinero going to turn up? Because we've seen a downward trend from him, and like, he hasn't done badly, but there's been a lot of decisions as a team that has just not really allowed him to get into the game. I mean, the Diana game as well, he got camped and wasn't able to do a whole lot, and also died a lot.
Sure, I mean, it's not just him, obviously. Yeah. As a team, Giants really struggled to enable Pepinero, but his own champion pool, we have to highlight, is a problem. I mean, I feel like all the EU mid laners who cannot play like a Zia Victor already put yourself in a disadvantage in the pick and ban phase. I mean, the Victor pick here has been huge for Nukeduck in first game 1 now, again in game 2, even though he's not been the big carry in this game. The fact that he isn't a Zir just gives him so much more. I mean, they say he's not been the big carry. He's done some fantastic plays. He's a Flash Tibbers, by the way.
Flash Tibbers and a dead Ezreal. Brutal. Yeah, but as you mentioned, yeah, 0-3 on that pick from Pepinero. Just every Victor game hasn't worked out. And if you can't play it, then yeah, you're hamstrung in Champions League.
And then you gotta go for something like an AD Israel suddenly, which is a poor matchup into a Z in the first place and just doesn't fit into anything. Really makes it so difficult for Giants. Anyhow, praise to ROCCAT for how well they're playing out, especially this game. They had one poor dive in the bottom lane. Outside of that, they have been in full control once again. They're playing around the map, rotating really well. Vander is roaming everywhere and being part of almost anything. And we get to see strong individual play as well from Nukeduck, from Rallis. And Steve has honestly done a fine job. Wasn't 100% impressed by his Gangplank in game 2, but this one, he hasn't really been challenged.
Yeah. But the difference is as well, ROCCAT has had pretty solid early games every single time in this series, and that's down to a little bit from Giants pulling in Godfred, and he's like, nope, I'm out. I'm not going to engage for you. But yeah, ROCCAT have had some pretty good early games that's transitioned well into the mid game. They've made some good decisions. I want to see ROCCAT, if they manage to get out of this series, looking pretty positive right now against the rest of the team.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. but how they do in the early game and how they transition that into mid-game. Can they continue to build that platform for themselves to make those good decisions?
That's really going to be the big thing, seeing as Origin is waiting next.
Yeah, and we know how strong they are.
Whole other monster to deal with. So we got to look at the positive trends here from the side of ROCCAT, especially pick and ban phase for me. Big highlight, big plus for them. Yamato Cannon before the game again saying 5-14. It was his patch. He knew how to pick and ban properly, and his team are showing. They play Fizz, they play Lulu, they play Shen, they play Gangplank. They have all these picks. Azir as well, now that we've highlighted him so many times. We know Victor is a massive pick for Nuke. So all these very contested meta picks.
They're also mega picks.
They're also mega picks in many ways. Are there for ROCCAT. They're showing they know how to flex pick them. They're showing they have so many different compositions, and that's going to be key for them.
Well, Nuke potentially caught out here, but is taking a bunch of damage. There's a shutdown going over to Peppy. Vander's going to be caught as well. All of Giants are closing in, but here comes the teleport from Steve. This is a 3 versus 5 for ROCCAT, but they find one. They find someone else. Can they get onto Adri? Steve is already there. He's getting kited around. The oranges will make it not okay. Godfred drops low. He'll go down to Ralez. This is getting very messy, but this is a 2 for 3 overall. Whirlip is being chased down by Jankos. He wants him. This is going to take a while if he wants the kill.
Well, Ralez is going to join as well, but sloppy start from ROCCAT. Nuke didn't flash away. He decided to stay in and fight and see what he could do, but getting caught out a little bit on the side of ROCCAT. Whirlip is still getting chased, and there we go, goes down. But really now is the time for Giants if they want to get back in this game. Even though it's looking almost impossible, you have stacked up your tier, you have Trinity Force. I mean, that is basically the strongest your Ezreal is going to be, really, right now. But your Kalista is still very far behind. And Adri even gone for second item, Last Whisper. So he has not enough attack speed really to have much of an impact. He's obviously looking at the fact that the double AD carry. Still don't agree with it because it's only the Gragas who's going to stack armor on the side of ROCCAT. That should have been a Hurricane.
Oh, Jankos dropping low here. He will be backing away. Happy Hour will regen some of that HP as Nuke and Jankos make their escape. Just need to back up here. Sundisk comes up. And still, Giants are trying to close in. Godfred is here. Let's jump over the wall from Peppy. Good explosive cask will disengage. And yeah, Peppy will be stopped by this minion wave. But if we... Actually, ROCCAT pushing down middle lane as well. This could go down.
Well, they have no TP and Nuke yet, and Jankos is far away, so they should just back away, take the dragon instead. But yeah, as we said before here, ROCCAT got caught out a little bit. In the end, though, they managed to turn the fight around because they're so far ahead in gold. Can even go and take the Baron from it. We're just at that point of the game where they can make so many mistakes and hardly get punished for it because they've done so much work before this.
Yeah, but if you think about like the games the Giants have won, it's all been about like maybe falling behind earlier, so that's a lot of damage from Nuke, and then getting back into the game because they have such good scaling. Remember, Pepinero back when Runglaive Ezreal was a thing, even almost took a game against Fnatic even. But they don't have something in the late game here. They just kind of flop.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between AP Ezreal and AD Ezreal in the late game. So yeah, while they have been able to pull that to late game from time to time in the past, not the case anymore. The meta very much shifting far away from a lot of the poke we see. You can still play it. Yeah. Still think there are some good poke compositions you can run, but you see more and more Victor, Z, and so on. We've seen it for a long time, obviously.
But that was even a good adaptation from ROCCAT, because they decided to ban the Varus in this game. So even if Giants wanted to add, change their playstyle, go for a poke composition, kind of what they have here with Pepinero, they couldn't pick the Varus. Like, ROCCAT kind of just read them like a book and picked some bans.
Definitely so, and getting all the picks they wanted on their side. Gangplank is here, first rotation, this one. Pushing on to the tower, there's a TP behind. Well, this is the fight for Giants to win. Yeah,
Godfred is still on the front lines, he's dropping low. Still the Unbreakable Will is up. Whirlip was there and Whirlip is gone very quickly. Adri also taken down as he flashes away. Pepinero will be getting away with the Arcane Shift, but he's chased into his own jungle, gets slowed down. Nuke takes him out of the Sand Soldiers. Ralez picking up that one. A 3-0, and it looks like ROCCAT are coming in for the jugular.
Got the minions, they got the time. 3 guys down from Giants, and ROCCAT really looking dominant in this game.
Here it is, Deficio. The first tower going down, there's the second. No one can contest from Giants, and they will be moving on to the Nexus. ROCCAT, they clean sweep this series. 3-0 up against Giants. They take the win home.
Just gotta give it to ROCCAT here. Full control. in this game, entire time basically, outside of one tower dive. Game 1 and Game 2, after they got out of the early game, ROCCAT had the goal lead. They had the map control, great vision from Vander and Jankos together. All 3 games, ROCCAT using it very well. And honestly, just a level above Giants in both pick and bans and also in game.
Yeah, well executed. They assume direct control, as you mentioned. Going to be very interesting to see how they fare in the rest of the gauntlet now in the regional qualifier.
Well, tomorrow's Origin.
It's next, and it's going to be a big challenge.
The thing is, it's so difficult now for the teams starting all the way down here, Giants and ROCCAT, because even, yeah, you win the first best out of 5, well, then tomorrow you play another one. If you win that one, well, then Monday you face Unicorns of Love in another best out of 5. So there's a lot of work to be done between the best out of 5s, because you got to look at your own game and say, okay, what did we mess up? You know, what can we fix? Can we fix it over just one day? I don't even think the team will have time to scrim, maybe, if there's anyone they could face. Otherwise, you're gonna just look at replays as a team and say, okay, here and here and here we made some mistakes. We gotta fix that for Origin, because they will punish you. They will absolutely destroy you if you make mistakes in the early game. They are the favorites, Origin, to take the whole thing and go to Worlds. But the pick and ban phase for ROCCAT is spot on right now. They have the champion pools for it.
Yep.
And in game as well, we saw a lot of positive things for them.
We saw a lot of positives for them, and you know, we were talking so much about the early game and how they transitioned to the mid game. That caused a lot of inconsistency for them over the season. They seem to have fixed those in this series at least, but they're also helped by the fact that Giants fell behind early. How will they do in the rest of the series? That's what we're going to find in the rest of the gauntlet. But yeah, I completely agree. There's not a lot of time for them to adapt from series to series. You're facing a whole different team and another best of 5, a team that you have to read. And honestly, you just have to look at your own play and be like, this is where we can fix something. This is where we can do something else.
But also they had, you know, obviously a few weeks coming into the gauntlet.
Yeah.
They just didn't know who they would be facing in the second round if they beat Giants. Because Origin obviously didn't get locked into this spot before they lost the final, and H2K won the 3rd place match, so they went straight to Worlds. And that's why you you had a whole week basically to prepare for Origin. Everything should have been done and sorted for Giants already. So I expect to see a well-prepared ROCCAT. Also, I think the R1 team's doing a very good job when it comes to setting up before these series here. It's just going to be so different. Again, the few mistakes we get to see from them in this match, it cannot happen. You got to play it out almost flawless. We saw it again when Fnatic made mistakes against Origin. They got punished and ended up losing the games. And Fnatic had been such a dominant team in Europe. So we're going to see a very different game. But I'm very excited to see the best out of 5 tomorrow, because those two teams definitely should bring on a good series. I still think Origin will be the heavy favorites, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just the fact that they played so well against Fnatic in Stockholm, the fact that they took games off them is a pretty big deal. But yeah, I completely agree to Fisher. But we are going to toss it to Quickshot on stage for a word with a few members of ROCCAT.
Thank you very much, guys.